Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. I know what you were thinking, Oiler fan. In that first period, you were thinking, Sorokin is going to be the stuff of my nightmares tonight. It had that feeling, didn't it? Like they were going to get goalied? Well, Calvin Pickard had something to say about that. What a play in overtime. What a performance. How about Leon Draisaitl? Couple of goals, hits the 100-point plateau. A very needed win for the Oilers on the road on Long Island. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Can't wait to break it down. Jason Strudwick will be joining us in just a moment. We got Rob Brown, we got Steve Taylor, and we got a jam-packed show for you tonight. As always, our show brought to you by Play Alberta, the official gambling partner of all the major Alberta teams. Whoever you cheer for, Play Alberta's cheering you on. Bet on your favorites, get in on odds boosts, and make game time more interesting. Deposit today. Get a free $50 free bet code with the code GYB03. So that's a $50 free bet with the code GYB03. Visit Play Alberta. Coming at you from our Adrenaline Diesel studio here tonight, now with an online store for all your diesel truck parts needs. Check out adrenalinediesel.ca. Okay, Struds, you've been on that, been in New York a lot, in and around there. Back-to-backs out there is maybe a little bit different when there's crazy travel in between and such. But a back-to-back situation that the Oilers were facing tonight, and a pretty cool win, man. That overtime play was really something. We'll get to breaking it all down, but this team needed that.
Yeah, they needed a spark, a lift, and the play that Calvin Pickard made there in overtime, that sparks you. You saw the reaction from Leon Draisaitl. When have we seen the team that excited? Since the Four Nations Cup or Tournament, Nations involvement, whatever it was called. We haven't seen anyone that excited. Yeah. Like they Leon points all the way down the ice at Pickard, and Pickard jumps into his arms like he hasn't seen his dad in 2 months. So, you need a lift. Like you need juice. This team needs some juice. And I tweeted earlier in the game that, maybe a large scale dust up would kind of
you were calling for violence. You were soliciting violence on X tonight.
Some anger, but instead we saw something different, and I love it. Now, it's not that great of a play by Pickard because it wasn't a primary assist, but still, whatever. That's not the important assist. It was the one Connor made, the 10-footer to Leon, that really matters.
All right, boy, was there ever some there was some love between Pickard and Draisaitl in the postgame interviews as well. So we saw it on the ice, the celebration together, and boy, oh boy, these guys are fans of one another. So we're going to get to all of that. And Rob Brown's going to join us here in the next couple of segments. He's finishing up over on Ched. So glad to have you on board. Lots to break down from this game, this much-needed win. So let's get to it. The breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. The 2025 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning truck at a competitive price. Capable, stylish, powerful. It is Ram. Let's just start with that play in overtime, Struds. There was a play from Pickard that you loved and a play from a New York Islander that you hated.
Okay, we have to start the conversation. I for some reason, Pierre Engvall really bothers me. Like, I don't know what it is. He just really bothers me. And I don't like him. I don't like the way he signed a 10-year contract with Islanders. I don't know why. You could have signed it for 1-year deals and it would have been fine. No one else has signed him. But anyways, let's not make this about him. But he gets a puck in the offensive zone. And you can tell, first off, the Islanders are really trying to hold on to the puck when Leon and Connor are out there, which is a really good play, a really good decision. But he walks out from behind the net, takes a shot that's ill-advised. Like Brownie, he'll talk about, he was not happy with that shot selection. The puck kind of ricochets into the corner. He rushes over there and get it. And it looks like both he and Bouchard kind of shoot the puck or fan it, and it goes right towards Pickard, who, very confidently, and I think that's important to think. It's a very confident play. He steps up, drops a dime on top of Connor's stick. Then Connor hits a stretching Draisaitl, and it's pretty. After that, I was like, I turned the TV off. I'm like, this thing's done. We're done here. There's not this guy scoring. And then there's a great moment after. So I think that, understanding kind of what you're trying to do out there when you're against other teams' best line is important. But the awareness by Pickard and the confidence to just zing that thing up there, I loved it.
Yeah, so it wasn't the only confident play Pickard made in overtime. 2 times he went a wandering out of the crease in overtime. Remember, there was a play behind the net where he was worried that his team wasn't going to end up with possession. So he went wandering then, and then he goes wandering out of his net a couple of times, Struds. And so clearly Calvin Pickard was feeling it tonight, because that's an indication of just the night that he had. So he has to sit there and watch Sorokin at the start of that game just go lights out, stymieing the Oilers 8, 9, 10, 12 shots and some real good saves in there. And then all of a sudden it's down the other way, and boom, his first save of the night was a hard one, and he was excellent from there on in.
Yeah, and Sorokin was really good today. Like, he made some really good saves. The toe save on Podkolzin, I don't know how much, maybe 5 minutes left in the first period, somewhere there. I'd have to look at my notes, but that was a great toe save. And the Oilers came out firing. They were really going at it, trying to get to him early, and he held it. And then that gave the Islanders a chance, like, oh, geez, we got a chance tonight. And it kind of kept them around this game. And then it became a bit of a heavy one. I think Jack Michaels used the word like a slog fest. And it did feel really like heavy and kind of just, there was really nothing really happening too much. Really, there was the odd turnover, but not a lot happening offensively either way.
Yeah. And Pickard just the degree of difficulty on some of the save, Struds, I thought there were some pretty good ones. Nothing like spectacular, nothing amazing, but they had some point blank looks. And I feel like some of those are going in at a different time this year. Like, I thought he made some saves that were meaningful and important. That how you say you got to save the ones you're supposed to, and then a couple that you're probably not. There were a couple I felt that were like that. He thoroughly did his job tonight.
He really did. And, Noodles on Struddy's World, he's talked a bit about how Pickard plays. And I talked to another goalie guy, and I've said this before, but he really reads the play well. And now ever since that comment that this goalie coach told me, I can't unsee it, because he's almost always in the right spot. It's not beautiful, but he's in the right spot. And there's something that counts for that. You're in the right place. Let it hit me, give yourself a chance to make a save. And I think that if as a avid watcher of the Oilers, if you think about that and say, he's always in the right spot, it may not be perfect setup, but he's there, I think you really appreciate kind of that subtlety to his game.
Okay, let's get to some post-game sound here. You're going to hear Calvin Pickard, followed by Leon Draisaitl about Calvin Pickard, followed by Calvin Pickard about Leon Draisaitl. It was really quite the post-game love fest, but we'll get going here with Calvin Pickard on the assist.
I saw the guy kind of hanging around in the high slot there. Those pucks usually squirt out somehow, so I tried to get up and be a little bit assertive, and it kind of squirted closer to me. So, and then I saw both Leo and Connor go. So Connor kind of intercepted it and then just sent it to Leo. It was great.
He started the whole play. It's great hockey sense. Goes unnoticed by a lot of people probably, but that's elite hockey sense right there. So he was obviously amazing all night.
How much did he give you guys a chance to win tonight?
Yeah, like I said, he was great. He gives us a chance every single time he's in net. So you can't ask for more than that. We love playing for him. I think that's very obvious, and just a bit of our heart and soul guy.
Huge compliment from a superstar. You guys see him on the ice every single night, but he's a better guy. He's a better friend. Means a lot coming from him.
There you go, Strides. Those guys, they're buds,
Who's
man.
better?
They're buds. I'm not afraid to share the love. I love it.
Yeah, I love when I hear Leon talk like that. He doesn't. You could tell tonight. And if you didn't watch the game, he took a couple of penalties that I felt were penalties. He looked frustrated with those calls, and it wasn't that he wasn't trying. He was working hard, and it's almost like he's trying to work so hard. He's almost doing too much at times, especially on the defensive side of the puck. And then he scores the goal, and then he scores again in overtime. And apparently his good buddy Pickard is right there with him. So I think that, I'll go back to my original statement. they needed a catalyst to kind of get their wheels spinning again. We've all had stretches where we're kind of just in a fog or kind of just grumpy. Well, that feels like the team. Now afterwards, they were happy and celebrating. And being in New York City, it's amazing because you stay in the same hotel for all 3 or 4 days. Now you'd have a day off tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Saturday. And then a 7:00 game Sunday. Then you fly home. Probably flying home Monday, I guess, buddy. Or maybe they fly home Sunday. I don't know. Actually, it's 2-hour time change.
7:00 start there. So
yeah, they might fly home after. But either way, it's just special, right? It's a special place to be. And then playing at the Garden on Sunday night. Come on, man. Like everyone loves playing that building. I think we'll see a real energized Oilers. If they can come off a good effort that night, you coming home, you got Utah, you got I think Seattle or something. Then a couple of tough games, but this might
Winnipeg,
be
Seattle.
something.
Yeah.
Utah, Winnipeg. Okay. So it might be a bit of a catalyst, right? Kind of get their mojo spinning that we really haven't seen recently.
Yeah, they got to build off this. They absolutely have to build 100%. Off of this.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they really do. Okay, let's talk a little bit more here about Leon Draisaitl, but let's hear one more time from him. We'll go to the Weiss Johnson sound box. If it's time for a new furnace, garage heater, or hot water tank, or you're looking to beat the rush on getting a new air conditioner for the summer, act now. The crew over at Weiss Johnson already seeing an increase in requests for those AC units. So specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, they're here for all your home comfort needs. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
All right, here we go. An introspective Leon Draisaitl asked about his 100 points season, 4th in a row. And, it was really asked in a smart way, because Draisaitl will refuse to talk about it if you just ask him about himself. But Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic, who's on the road with the team, asked him what it means about his teammates and the people around him. Wow, he perked right up. And Draisaitl with a little look in the mirror here.
I love being an Oiler. It means the world to me. And, obviously having teammates that understand the way I am and understand me as a person and sometimes obviously not easy, but I love these guys, and without them none of this is possible. So these are all nice efforts and accomplishments for your personal self, but none of this ever works without your teammates.
Yeah, I've been around Draisaitl a few times. He's definitely self-deprecating, Struds. He knows the way he is. He knows he can be gruff. He knows he can be hard. He knows he can be a smart ass and grumpy. But he loves his teammates for just kind of understanding that and accepting them. And I love that answer from Draisaitl. That was heartfelt and a well asked question by DNB.
Yeah, he nailed it. And honestly, as a guy who was never a superstar, it means so much when there's some positivity coming out of your top player or top players. Yeah. And I played with Yager, and Yager was similar, I believe, to Leon. Very demanding of himself, demanding of his teammates. And at times it comes off and it can kind of rattle other players around the room. So when you kind of, even though you're frustrated, if you kind of push through that and just kind of share a bit of love with your teammates, it goes a long way. And like I said, I lived through it with Yager. And not that I really liked it. I loved being his teammate, but it was hard at times. I mean, not that I was on the ice with him a lot, but it was hard for others because, you're like, geez, I'm trying here, man. I'm not as good as you. And like, you got to give the guys a bit of a break, and at times give yourself a break so others are feeling more comfortable.
So Leon Draisaitl's season, Struds, we probably haven't talked about it enough. Like, it really is phenomenal what he's doing here. I think he's, at 49 goals now. He gets his 100 points already. Who knows where he finishes? We'll see. But the way that he's been able to do it without a lot of help on his line, night in, night out, clutch goals, big goals. He's got a pile of game winners. I think he's got, 33 even strength goals, 10 game winners. He's just crushing it here in a different way. And Draisaitl has always been a fantastic player. But what do you think has gotten him to the next level that we're seeing right now?
As I was sitting there, I was watching the game. I was trying to figure that out. I mean, he's 12 or 13 goals ahead of the next guy. Like, just think about that. Like, that's crazy amount of goals to be above the next player. Was he at 49 now, Sugar? 49?
Yeah, 48? I think he was at 49. Yeah, 49.
Yeah, so he's one goal away from 50, and the other players aren't even at 40. Like, this is psychotic what's happening. And, you know, after the game, you heard the coach talk about it. It's not like he's playing with players being invited to the Four Nations trophy ceremony, whatever it's called. So I think it's really important for us to point that out, that this is what's going on. But he's persevering. Like, I don't really think he cares. He wants to get his ice time and he wants to go out there and play. But he's willing now to be the guy that lifts up his line mates and makes things happen.
I've said it a few times on this show. I thought that, I don't want to say turning point because he's been good all year, but I think where he went from, you know, having a good year to having a fantastic year was when Connor McDavid was out of the lineup and it was on Leon Draisaitl. The team was wanting to stay pointed in the right direction. They lost their captain. Draisaitl needed to be his absolute best self, and he was phenomenal through that stretch. Here's Chris Knobloch reflecting on that time as well.
You know, Connor got hurt in Columbus, and then, you know, he had to be the guy. We're missing Connor. I'm not sure exactly what he did for points at that time, but he really elevated his game, which we needed him to. We're missing the best player, and he really hasn't taken any games off. You know, maybe 2 off games since, I don't know what it was, that November 15th. So that's pretty impressive.
Seems like you.
Yep, incredibly impressive stuff from Leon Draisaitl. All right, Struds, let's get to our You Can Use Services Relentless Player of the Night, the annual Comedy Nights fundraiser. It's almost sold out. So there's one table left for March 19th, and that's actually the night the Got Your Back crew is going to be there.
Whoa.
So there's one table left, and we'll all be there. So, hey, man, buy the table. Come say hello. 50-50 draw, raffle, silent auction as well. It's all for an amazing cause. The comedians are fantastic. The cause is fantastic. www.youcancomedy.ca. So snap up that last table, and we will see you on March the 19th. Struds, you got 2 pretty good choices tonight. I'm interested in who you're going to go with. You're not going off the board tonight, are you? This isn't.
No, I can't. The problem is that I don't know how you split these guys up. There's a love fest going on here.
No sharing it. No sharing it now.
I know,
Get off your
I know.
fence, Struds. Get off your
I know.
fence.
I have Leon. I wrote down Leon. And I just think when he gets 2 goals, and like I said, he's almost at 50. No one else is at 40. That's just incredible. Like, that's just relentless on his own. He had 6 shots tonight. And he played a really good game. He was all over. And more importantly, it was on the way back too. Like, his defensive play was good. Now, I've got to be clear, because I've had people challenge me. Oh, well, you always talk about how Leon's good defensively. He turns it over. Yeah, he does. But he turns over trying to make plays. And every good player turns it over trying to make plays. It's how you recoup from that. And do you get back and help more often than not? Because not every time you turn it over can you get back and break up the play. But you can try to get back. And I think that's something Leon's learned over the years. So I accept turnover, his teammates, and he accepts turnovers by himself because he does make so many good plays with the puck.
All right, lots more to discuss about this game. Want to talk about Knobloch's new line combinations. Got to talk about the D-core a little bit. Evan Bouchard, putting a few pretty good games here together, which is a good sign. We'll get to all of that in the next segment, and Rob Brown's going to join us pretty shortly here as well. Steve, why don't you jump in here, though, buddy, and take us through our De Boers Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. The snow is, it hit us a little bit, but it's not going to last long. So they're booking fittings for clubs 10 days in advance. So if you want to grab yourself a new set, give Scott and TJ and the crew at De Boers a call. Get fit to play your best by the team dedicated to helping you play better golf. Visit them at 5311 99th Street here in Edmonton. A simple one tonight, Steve.
Yeah, another simple one tonight. The question simply is, here's how I worded it. Who do you want to start in net on Sunday?
Don't say it.
Who do you want to start in net on Sunday? What do you think, Struds?
What, Struds?
I think you're starting a firestorm. That's what you're doing. When the Oilers win, goalie plays good. Now we're just lighting a firestorm underneath this, our gang of listeners, which I love. But that's a toughie.
I can change it,
everybody.
Yeah. So the 2 options are only Pickard and Stu Skinner, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Posted now.
Obviously. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. The one thing I want to take a look at, he had a killer start not too long ago. And if I recall, the head coach said, I want to reward him. You remember? Said, I want to reward him. And then I think it was ugly. Didn't he get hooked the next night out?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so that was fair. That had, just factor that in as you're voting, as you're all racing to vote for Calvin Pickard. Factor that in. And, it's one thing to come in and do it to do it once, but putting back-to-back performances like that together is a little bit tougher. And if they don't play him, I guess Skinner would play on Tuesday after having played the previous Thursday, so not the end of the world. That's an interesting one. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get to takeaways. Going to break down a couple of other elements of this game. Rob Brown will be joining us shortly. We're going to have Brownie Points, Struddy's World. Our core blue liners, ask us anything. So get your comments and questions in here on the stream right now. We're live on YouTube and on X. And we're on Twitch as well for some reason. Hello to our 1 or 2 people that are watching live on Twitch. Lots of shows still ahead, so stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
We roll along with our takeaways, brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. John Deere tractors are more affordable than you think, starting at only $254 a month. 0% financing for 84 months, currently available on select John Deere compact utility tractors. Stop by your local Horizon Ag and Turf, their inventory lineup, or visit them online at horizonagandturf.com. Feeling good tonight, Struddy. Put a few days together on the elliptical, and when you do that, the body just starts to, you can feel it starting to change. But it's been a good couple of days. Oilers are on the road, taking advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Got lots of energy tonight.
I love it. I mean, do you sweat on is it possible to sweat on the elliptical?
Yeah, you sweat on the elliptical. It's good. Why do you think that it's not a viable option as a solid workout? What is it about it?
Maybe I misunderstood. I thought it was a stretching type machine to try to help your range of motion. I didn't realize it was actually a workout machine. I'll try one. Yeah. I've never tried one before. My bad.
Come on over and we'll play in the golf sim, and then you can put in 30 on the elliptical, and we'll see who's making fun of who then, bud.
This sounds like a pay-per-view segment. We got to get Gene in there.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I'll burn a total of 200 calories in 6 hours.
Plus your 27 steps from 18 holes in the simulator. That'll be like a full morning workout for you. Okay, Struddy, let's get to some other elements of this game, shall we? I want to talk a little bit about Evan Bouchard. Obviously, he gets highlighted a lot because there's some tough mistakes, but there's been a steadiness here that he's building in, and I think it's been really evident the last few games, Struds. I just see some confident plays, the defending, attention to details a little bit better there, avoiding the big mistakes. I feel like he needs to pile these games together where he doesn't get into the big one. I know there was one recently, but still, it's been better.
Scoring makes him feel good about himself, right? People that believe they should score need to score to feel good about themselves. Then when they score, they feel good about themselves, and things just kind of go from there. I think that we can't dismiss that empty net power play goal as not important. I shouldn't be laughing,
man.
I should laugh about it. No, I agree, man. I don't mean to laugh, but people are like, it's just an empty netter on the power play. Who cares? It counts. It gets it over. When you score and you feel like you need to score it because that's what you do, it makes a difference. So interesting that he's paired with Wallman. I'm shocked. Sorry, that's not wrong. I would not do that myself. It's two really good puck movers together, moving that puck around. Maybe they want to supercharge it, but they sound like Leon and Connor on the same line. So again, I'd probably split them up. And yet here we are watching that not unfold that way. So it makes it, because think about it, like now would be a good chance if you like and you believe Wallman should be beside Nurse, when Echo comes back, he slides back and be beside Bouchard, and then everyone's back, kind of where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, he's been pretty good lately. And when Ekholm comes back, I can't help but feel like they'll go back to those two together. But the combination of him and Wallman has been, I actually haven't minded it at times. You got two guys that can really move it, like you say, Struddy. But we'll see what they do when Matthias Ekholm gets hurt. I think he's skating here in town, but hopefully he'll be ready to go on Tuesday night. Yep.
Right, but if you're trying to build chemistry between two people, you can't do it when they're on the ice at different times, right? That's why I don't understand the thought process. And listen, Coffey's pulled and pushed a lot of the right buttons here for this team, but you want them to get to know each other, so play them together. So it makes me feel like, am I wrong? Are they not going to play those guys together? Could Ekholm or Nurse be on the other side, or Kulak? Could Ekholm go down? Like it's something isn't adding up here, because you're trying to build chemistry.
Matt Blom says Shoggy's got one of those Dr. Ho electric muscle stimulators ready for Struddy to try as well. That is a good workout. You throw one of those on full blast while you're on the couch watching golf, and you definitely burn some calories.
Blommer.
The elliptical machine would be offered on Facebook Marketplace in under 3 weeks. A few people suggesting that I need a shake weight. Do not have the shake weight. Yeah, do not. Thanks, Riot's Edge. Do not currently have a shake weight. Steve-O, what's Brownie's timeline roughly, buddy? Did he say?
Yeah, he should be about 5 minutes from now.
Okay, Bryn is being greedy with our star analyst over there at 880 Chad. Okay. Struds, there was another thing I wanted to throw in your court. There was a really solid article done over at Oilers Nation, and I can't remember who it's by, so my apologies. The basic point that was made in this article was that the Oilers have fundamentally shifted some of their offensive strategy to be more oriented towards point shots. Shots from, and in particular, the right point. But there are a lot more point shots, which fundamentally are lower percentage, chances from back there. And that in some ways it is stalling their offense because the numbers are pretty jarring. Like it's a pretty significant number more point shots. And they had a heat map as part of this article, which I thought was excellent. And it showed last season compared to this season. And I was watching for it tonight after reading that article. And I do have to say, like, there are a lot of shots that get floated in from the point. To me, the thing that bothers me more is the lack of traffic in front at times. And that, I think it's been that way a lot this season. But have you noticed the Oilers shifting their strategy towards a lot more point shots? And what do you think of that? Because the stats would show such.
Yeah, so I've had a debate with a couple guys I know about this, and they feel this is the D-man's fault for shooting from the point. And I couldn't disagree more. When someone throws you a puck on the blue line, your job's to either shoot on the net or throw it back behind the net. That's the choice, right? Or I guess D to D, whatever. But you understand what I'm saying. So I feel, and that I didn't read that article, but I have read other articles about it. The issue is with the forwards not taking to the puck to the middle of the ice often enough. Walk it out from behind, from the side, from behind the net. And I know it was on the power play. I'm going to give you an example. Nugent Hopkins on the power play sees a lane to the net, and he takes it to the net to his backhand and shoots it. That should be the goal 5-on-5. When you're a forward, you should look to attack the middle of the ice first, pass to the D-man second. I think too often the Oilers forwards are deferring to the easier one. I'll just throw it up to the D, because most teams, they take it away kind of, but they're trying to take away your drive to the middle. So I think the Oilers forwards have to get in their head. I'm going to try to get to the middle of the ice first on my own. And then if that's not there, then I'll throw it up to the blue line. But they're not. I think more often than not, how often do you see them fake it to go to the middle? They throw it up high. So is it a change in coaching philosophy, or is it a change of the personnel? Let's look at some of the guys. Fogle drove the net. Dylan Holloway drove the net. Ryan McLeod, pretty quick. I remember him taking it out of the corner. But he would take it out of the corner and get a shot. So that's three guys right there. They would do it. Look who they replaced him with so far this year. I don't see it from Skinner. I think Arvidsson is more of a shooter than trying to drive to the middle of the net. So I think I wouldn't put this on the coaches. You know, you can ask them, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that saying, hey, we're going to put it, guys, don't drive the middle of the ice. Let's just shoot it up to the D man. They can try to shoot from the point where it's a lower percentage shot. The coaches know that. The player, everyone knows that. The chance of me scoring from blue line are pretty low. But when you drive it off the wall, now it creates chaos for the defending team, whether it's a shot on net, a rebound. Well, I guess that would be a shot on net or a goal itself.
Would you, like we see, and Nurse does it a lot, you know, puck gets back to him, he's got a look, and so he'll fire one in. Easily savable puck, kind of him and the goalie, not even anybody necessarily between him and the goalie, and he just kind of floats it in there. So hey, Brownie, how's it going, buddy? We're into a real nuanced one here, so we'll check in with you in just a sec. We're talking about all the point shots that the Oilers are taking this season and a lot of just open looks without traffic in front and such. And I just asking Struds, do you think, Struds, that they maybe need to be a little bit more selective? If you're a D-man and you don't see bodies heading there in traffic, is there a different play to make? Do you pause? Do you hesitate? Do you look to just put it back down as opposed to just floating one into a net that's going to be a pretty easy save? Like, is there something they can be paying a little bit more attention to, you think?
Yeah, you can be more selective. So if there's no one in front, like most guys, you know, aren't beating one out of maybe not 100, but, you know, a couple out of 100 maybe are going in. So your choices are to try to move and try to hold that puck till someone gets in front, or go to your partner, or just throw it back behind the net. But in my experience, forwards don't like it when they work so hard and they get it up to you. Then you just shoot it behind the net again without even trying to get it to the net. But Brownie, my point on this is what I said is that I think that don't blame the D for shooting it. Blame the forwards for not trying to attack off the wall and go to the middle of the ice. And, you know, you can tell what you think, but I don't see them really looking for that. And the point I use, and it's not fair, but it's 5-on-4 when Nuge drove it off the wall and tried to attack and went to his backhand. Like, I know as a defender, give it to the D all night long. That makes it easy. I box you out. I can tie up your stick. It gives me a chance. But if you're walking out trying to score, it makes it harder. So I don't know if this is a fundamental coaching change. I think it's the players who aren't driving the middle of the ice as much off the wall or from behind the net, buddy.
I agree. So to me, when the puck goes back to the point and I'm a forward, my first thought is get to the front of the net. It should be every time. There should not be even a second thought. My job is to get to the front of the net, because if the defenseman has it, his job is to get it on net. Now, the critique that I see that you're giving Rishaug is, okay, you're throwing the puck on net. I mean, you're just giving it to the goaltender for a face-off. There's not going to be a goal-scoring chance. But you also got to think, okay, what's my other options? Do I throw it into the corner? Is there someone there? Does it get blocked? I mean, tonight, Nugent Hopkins on the turnover was trying to make a play instead of throwing it at the net. To me, I agree with you, Struds. If we worked in the corner to get the puck and get it back to the point, I want you to throw it to the net. I want you as a defenseman to take a stride to give yourself a shooting lane, then put it on the net 95% of the time. And it's my job as a forward to get there. Because if I'm going to battle for the puck, it's way more fun battling for the puck 5 feet in front of the net, where the outcome could be a goal, as opposed to battling on the boards or battling below the goal line. So to me, and at the end of the day, too, there's nothing wrong with taking a face-off in the offensive zone. There really isn't. So throw it on net. The Oilers are better than any team in the National Hockey League at face-off plays. They create a lot of offensive chances. So to me, this is a lack of execution by forwards getting to where they're supposed to be when the defenseman has the puck.
Yeah, just kind of, it's almost an easier form of offense to button hook, give it to the D-man, and he ends up floating one in. And I find the Oilers, too, a lot of guys want to flare out to the flanks instead of getting into that paint. You know, guys that think I'm going to be the one to flare out to the flank. And, you know, there's only one or two guys on this team that if the puck goes to the blue line, you should be flaring out to the flank, right? And that's 29 and maybe a couple other guys, Brownie.
Well, and throw the fact, too, that the guys that go to the flank are the guys with the big shots. If Alex Ovechkin decides to go to the boards, well, he can score from the boards. There's nobody on the Oilers outside of Leon Draisaitl that's scoring from distance as a forward. None of them can. So it's pretty simple. The guy that makes the button hook, that's fine. You make a button hook, you push the defenseman back, you make the button hook, you give it to your defenseman. Everyone else has to know at that point, I'm going to the net. But that is an identity. And we saw it with the New Jersey Devils. When the puck went to the point, they knew exactly where they were going. That was their identity. The LA Kings play that way. The Vegas Golden Knights play that way. The Edmonton Oilers, they're a smaller team up front. It's harder to get to the net, but it's willing to take a beating, willing to go. It's a willingness. And I don't know if the Oilers always have a willingness to get to the front of the net.
Sunil Agnihotri. Hope I said that last name right, Sunil. But he is the author. An interesting article over at OilersNation.com, digging into a few details. So wanted to bring it up on the show tonight and go take a read if you want to talk about that in a little bit more detail. Okay, Brownie, Struds and I dug in on Draisaitl and Kelvin Pickard. I mean, I don't know as a goaltending coach what you're thinking, or a head coach what you're thinking when your goalie starts wandering out of the crease in overtime, but he did it twice, buddy, but it paid off. What did you think?
That's someone that's fully engaged in reading the play. In 3-on-3 is all about puck possession. And the Islanders are the best face-off team in the National Hockey League. So if he takes the face-off, it's 50-50 whether you get the puck, and if they get it, the puck's in your zone. He read the play. He knew where the three Islander players were on the play. So get the puck. I'm not freezing it. I'm moving it to an area. And you don't even have to see where your player is. You just have to know there's an area where they should be. That was a fantastic play. I mean, we'll put it this way. Calvin Pickard made a play that won them the game. And Peter Engvall, Jason Strudwick's favorite player, made an Islander play to lose them the hockey game. So there's two plays that were made within 10 seconds of each other. One was made by a very smart player, and the other was made by Peter Engvall. And one got the Edmonton Oilers 2 points. I have no idea who he's out there. Seriously.
Is he trying to lose?
I know this is a little off topic, but it's 3-on-3 is all about puck possession. The Islanders have possession against the Oilers' best players. That is huge. Connor and Leo don't have the puck. Yeah. That's a win right there. Peter Engvall, all he has to do is skate through the slot, turn back into the neutral zone, give it to a good player, and now attack. Instead, on his back foot, he takes a wrist shot from above the top of the circle with zero chance of getting in. Here you go, Connor, Leon. Why don't you guys take the puck for a while? It was an absolutely horrendous play that cost his team the game.
Brown, you got to slow down. Engvall has 4 goals this year, buddy. Like, let the man shoot.
Pierre Engvall.
I don't get what it is. He is in my head. I don't know what it bothers me, but there's something about him. I never liked him when he was at Toronto either.
You know when I thought
I was giggling every time he stepped on the ice thinking of you, Struds. I just giggled.
I'll tell you, when I first thought of that tonight, I thought, oh my God, Struds has to be burning up right now. Was when he double beaver tapped for the pass. Off the wing. Yep. Tap, tap, tap. Stride. Yeah. Tap, tap, tap. Stride. I was like, oh my God. Struddy's going to be losing his marbles.
He has 8 points in 45 games, and I think that was his second shift in overtime. Like, it was. I think Patrick was trying to, I think he's trying to lose. Like, they have so many other guys that they could put out there, but no, we got to get the big man out there. And I love Swedes. Might be the only Swede I've never liked.
What did we think of? What did you think of the line combinations that Knobloch ended up going with tonight, Struds? I thought last night for sure he was going to leave the big guys together, but the point was made. I think Louis, maybe on the broadcast, or Jack, can't handle that many minutes back-to-back nights, and that was the point I missed last night by splitting them up. You don't have to play them as many minutes, although they played a pile tonight. So they end up going Henrique with McDavid and Hyman, who ended up getting hurt, then Perry with Draisaitl and Connor Brown, Podkolzin and Nugent Hopkins as a third center, and Arvidsson, and then Skinner with Kapanen and Janmark. What did you think of that call and what you saw, Struds?
Yeah, so the lines are a little bit skewed because Hyman got nicked up. And right now we don't know what his issue with Hyman. So a little bit skewed. But you know what? I thought there was maybe I was looking for a little jump. Let's start with the easiest line, the fourth line. I thought the fourth line had some good shifts. What I look for as a fourth line is a line that has some offensive zone time and some chances. I thought they did a pretty good job. Nuge, to me, looked like he was skating better tonight. as center. I think you have to skate more as center. And I thought his line was pretty good as well. It's hard to judge Draisaitl. You could put a garbage can and me on that line, and they'd probably still look pretty good. So, but I think, Perry had chances. They both had chances. Unfortunately, those chances didn't result in goals, but at least they're getting the right places, Brownie. And then the top line, I'll kind of reserve judgment because, like I said, Hyman here got hurt. He nicked up early. What did he play? Like, I don't know if he played
10 minutes.
2 shifts.
He was 10.
Yeah.
He was 10.
So, I mean, that's pretty low. But I'd like to see them again, obviously, depending on Hyman, where he's at.
The fourth line again, give energy and don't make turnovers in the neutral zone. And that's why Max Jones was out of the lineup. But I thought that energy captain was skating tonight in a wonderful play, shorthanded by Janmark and Connor Brown. Nugent Hopkins, when he centers a line, he touches the puck. When he plays on the wing with Connor McDavid, he doesn't touch the puck much because that's Connor's job. So he was creating plays. He was all right. Actually, I thought all the lines were fine. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with all of the ways they were set up, but I like the fact they stayed with them. And that's all I'm saying is stay with your lines. Don't all of a sudden after a period switch them up, because what you're telling those line mates is, yeah, you failed. You know what? We were going to play you with Connor today, and you were probably really excited about it. You told all your friends about it. And then after the first period, yeah, you failed. And it's not a good sign because you're sitting on the bench and you're worried about making a mistake. Let them play the whole game. And if after the game it wasn't good enough, all right, next game we'll do something different. So I'm not in love with those lines. I'm not in love with Brown and Perry as your line mates, both two righties with Leon. But I did like the fact that Knobloch kept them together. And I think that was important. And everybody felt part of this victory. And I don't think that's always the case.
Kept them together late too, Struds.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really resisted the temptation. He did in the last few minutes. But when there's 7-8 minutes left in a 1-goal or in a tie game, I mean, that's normally when you see the shift happen. And to Brownie's point, I think it was a great one. He stuck with it pretty deep, Struddy.
Yeah, and I don't know who made the point in intermission. It might have been Bob Stauffer, I think, that just talked about this idea of like everyone's got to play. And I always go back to when Tippett was released and Derek Ryan. Remember, he said, maybe everyone can play now. He was pissed, and Derek's not mad at anything. Yeah. And I think that, I personally kind of forgot about that, right? Everyone's got to feel involved in this and get everyone trying to feel like they're all going. So, spreading it out a bit isn't ideal, but if everyone's feel like they're contributing, I think that's really important. Take the pressure off the big guys, because I think that's what Knobloch did really well. When he arrived, I felt like he unloaded some pressure off the big guys and said, you all have to contribute and you'll get a chance.
Yeah. Well, it just breeds confidence to everyone else. If all of a sudden they're put in situations that are important instead of sitting on the bench. Oh, okay, wait. Yep. Oh, it's the important part of the game. I'll sit here and cheer. No, that doesn't make for a good hockey club. And we've seen in the past, if you're trying to rely on two hockey players to win you a championship, you don't get usually past the first round. So I think tonight was a step in the right direction.
Who you starting next game, Brownie?
It's funny. We just talked about it on Chad, and Skinner is the guy that's going to give you the best chance to win a Stanley Cup. I start Calvin Pickard in New York.
Really?
Yep, he deserved it. He was fantastic in this hockey game. So I start Calvin Pickard.
Yeah. And the one thing, we pointed it out a little bit earlier, I don't think that's a bad decision, but you remember the last time Pickard played really, really well?
Yep.
They rewarded him with the next start, and it absolutely came apart at the seams. So, we'll see. Interesting one.
Tough.
Okay, that was Takeaways, brought to you by our good friends over at Horizon Ag and Turf. Real treat coming up in the next segment. Not only do we have brownie points, but we've got Struddy's World, which we're all looking forward to. And then, Brownie, you don't know this yet, but we're going to keep Rob Brown around for a special Ask Us Anything segment. So we're going to do that next, so you can get your questions into Brownie and Struds. I'll shut my yip and let the real brains answer your questions. So get those into Steve right now. He's compiling the best of them. So Brownie Points, Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything, Brownie edition is coming up next here on the show. Stay with us.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. You know the music. You love the segment. Time for Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. If you're craving bold flavor and unbeatable quality jerky made with prime Alberta beef, made and sold right here in Canada. Look no further. For the month of March, 2 pounds of jerky, $70. And you get a free bonus quarter-pound mystery flavor pack. As always, free shipping Alberta-wide. Visit albertajerky.com. Enter the code GOTYOURBACK for an additional 10% off. Robert?
Well, let's start in Winnipeg today. There was a battle of two superpowers in the Western Conference, so I'm giving 96 brownie points to the Winnipeg Jets. After the trade deadline, the top team in the Western Conference kind of was the forgotten team. It's either the Dallas Stars winning the conference or the Colorado Avalanche or Vegas. Winnipeg was kind of forgotten. Tonight, the two top teams in that division, Dallas and Winnipeg, go at it, and it was all Winnipeg. They win the game 4-1. And it's a big win because that moves them 10 points up on the Stars as they battle for first in the division and now a good shot at the President's Trophy. So good for the Winnipeg Jets. Staying in Winnipeg, I got 35 brownie points to Kyle Connor. He was a healthy scratch in the gold medal game at the Four Nations tournament. I didn't understand it then, don't understand it now. He has 35 goals now on the season, which is the most of any NHL player born in the United States. And when they had a gold medal game, and it was going to be a 1-goal game because we knew that, they scratched their top goal scorers. So worked out for us, didn't it? I've got 24 brownie points to Calvin Pickard. Another strong game. I mean, the backup goalie comes in. He gives you another quality start on the road, 24 saves. And the biggest play of the game is the heads-up play in overtime, helping set up the Leon Draisaitl breakaway. I was going to start him in New York, and then my good friend Shaga reminded me the last time he got started, and he got pulled in the first period, so now I'm changing my mind. So good job, Calvin, but I hope you're resting on Sunday, and now Stuart Skinner is starting in New York Rangers.
Wow. Do I get some brownie points for changing your mind?
Wow.
I feel like I get brownie points for that.
Oh, you know what? I don't have a pen to write that down, but if I remember next game, I'll give you some brownie points, okay?
I haven't gotten any this year. I've gotten like none. I'm so far behind Struds. A few.
Well, you're behind. Actually, you're actually third in your family for brownie points too. So you're not doing very well. I got 49 brownie points to Leon Draisaitl. He has absolutely put this team on his back this year. To me, he's got 49 goals already on the season. He's got 10 game-winning goals. He is hands down the NHL's MVP. And I know Chris Knobloch talked about it tonight. He should get votes for the Selke too. His all-around game has been exceptional this year. Is there anyone in the world that wouldn't have bet their house that he was going to score on that breakaway in overtime? It was automatic. So Leon Draisaitl, another excellent hockey game. And this is my last one. I got 100 brownie points to the New York Islanders' Adam Pelech. It was one of the funniest shifts I've ever seen in 3-on-3 overtime. The Oilers' best players are on the ice. They have the two best players in the world with the puck. An Islander breaks his stick. So now it's a 3 versus 3, and one of the Islanders doesn't have a stick. The Oilers take full advantage of it. The puck goes to Leon. He looks like he's going to one-time it. Pelech sticks his leg out to try to block it. Leon fakes it, goes back to Evan Bouchard for the one-timer. Pelech pulls the left leg in, kicks his right leg out, and blocks a 100-mile-an-hour one-timer from Evan Bouchard. Drops him, but guess what? McDavid gets the puck. Pelech has to finish the shift. Next 30 seconds, he's playing on one foot. Another guy's got no stick. They get out of it. I give credit to Adam Pelech. He gets 100 brownie points. You got to have big nuts to be able to stand and try to block a one-timer from Evan Bouchard. He does it, finishes the shift. I wouldn't be shocked if we find out tomorrow he broke his foot on that. But I got to give him credit on that one. That was a gutsy play by a very, very good defenseman, Adam Pelech.
Maybe that shift alone, Struddy, might have qualified him for Relentless player. That sequence, to hear Brownie describe it, like that could have been outside the box for you.
That shift's actually my subject of Struddy's World, so I will not speak on it in Brownie.
Oh, I love it. Now you all know we do not organize this show ahead of time at all. Brownie just took all the wind out of Struddy's sails for Brownie points. I love it. All right, that was Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Okay, Struds, quickly regroup during your intro. Roll it.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
Time out for Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber House Developments, where if you can dream it, they can make it happen. A truly customized building experience. They've got you covered. Every house is unique. Every customer is like family. See what you can dream up together. Contact timberhouse.ca. Looking forward to some original thoughts from Struddy tonight in Struddy's World.
2-minute shift, 2-minute overtime shift. The Islanders are so tired. One guy's laying on the ice because his leg was blowing off. The other guy's got no stick. 2 minutes in the ozone. They can barely move. It's the short change because of the way it works in overtime. Did the Oilers change? No, we're good. We're going to stay out there for 2 minutes. All they had to do was there was opportunities. They're going, no, they didn't. Oh, they're going, no, they're going, no. 3 guys could have changed. You have 3 guys caught in the Islanders that would have just been dead balls tired. And you would have kept the party going. Either you score or you get a penalty. Or you keep them off for 30 seconds. Then you change again and you get Leon Connor and whoever you want back out there again. Listen. If those 3 guys are standing on the bench and someone didn't change for 2 minutes, it wouldn't have been a very happy group. You need to change. We talk about it. We talk about getting involved. There's an opportunity for getting involved. I remember a game, I think it was last year, wasn't it? Kane and Hyman went out there in overtime and set the table. Then they changed. Guess who came and scored? You got to do it for both sides. Guys, that was a disappointing moment by Bouchard, McDavid, and Leon. They didn't change. They should have changed. The outcome was good. But in that moment, that was a wrong decision.
Boom. He did it, Brownie. He absolutely did it. Struddy bringing a hot take to Struddy's World after he had his feet kicked out from underneath him there. I love it. You know what? I totally agree with you because they got the short change there too, don't they?
Short change. You could have fallen on the bench. On the bench.
The one door might have actually been inside the blue line. Like you could have actually not even left the zone. You know what's funny, Struds? I was thinking that because Connor and Leon were absolutely gassed. Like bagged. They were absolutely bagged on that one. And I'm thinking one of them if they change, just think you put out Nuge and Hendrick, anyone. They're coming full speed. The Islanders were done. They were so tired. Like they had a chance to get the puck out. They couldn't. And then Pajot, he just falls down in the corner. The first thing I thought of halfway through that shift is, if they change right now, this game is over. And even Bouchard, like that wasn't even a good play that Bouchard made. He was tired, so he just threw the puck on net and Sorokin made the save. So I agree with you 100%, Struds.
Oh, yeah. I will be a little bit of a voice of reason. Like, if they change right now, this game is over. Who's coming bombing off that Oiler bench to strike fear into the hearts of the New York Islanders? Who's ready to come over the boards?
There's a guy with no stick and there's a guy with a broken foot. It was a 3-on-1, and the other guy couldn't move because he had 2 cement legs.
Like, I'm telling you, Sugar, but I'll just call it like it was selfish. To not change there was a selfish move. So I'm telling you right now, if I was on that bench, and I know I'm not going out in overtime, I'd be looking over like, man, you guys should have changed. That's you're dead tired. It's a short change. We go out there, we put fresh guys out. That's what you do. That's how it works. And I was really disappointed. Now the outcome's fine, but it doesn't justify what they did in that moment. They should have changed because they were dead tired. They could have changed, put fresh legs out there and grind away. That's what you do as a good teammate. We talk about to get other guys' beaks wet. Someone's beak could have got really wet there. I'm talking really wet. Disappointed.
Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber Haas Developments. Struddy bringing the heat. I love it.
They could have got
Brownie,
really wet beak.
Wet beak.
WHET, wet. That's a wet beak. Was anybody else surprised, by the way, that they decided to call an overtime and let an exhausted McDavid and Draisaitl rest a little bit more there? Anybody else surprised? I was like,
shocked.
Those other guys,
Shocked.
They're still going to go out there if you don't call a timeout, but they're going to be tired, and he let them rest.
Well, the thing was, he didn't leave his same guys out there. Like he changed his guys. So it's like, it's not like you just rested your 3 guys. You put 3 guys that were on the bench. Yeah, that made no sense. I'm starting to think that Patty Waugh might not be as good a coach as Patty Waugh thinks he is.
So he called the timeout and then threw Engvall out.
Pierre
rested
Engvall.
A fresh Engvall.
The timeout, I blacked out when I saw Engvall go out. So I did after the first shift in Engvall, I gave up. I'm like, they're not trying to win this thing. 8 points. Hey, who are we going to put out there? Engvall, are you okay to go? I'll call a timeout to make it fresh. What? I haven't been out in overtime all year. It's outrageous, man.
All right. Struddy's World brought to you by Timber Haas Developments. Okay, let's get to Ask Us Anything. We're excited to do Ask Us Anything a little earlier because we still got Brownie here. Brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. Yeah. The Bank of Canada continuing to lower those rates. Just happened again the other day. So if you're wondering, what's the right play? Do I lock in? Do I not? Is it going to drop more? You need expert advice one way or another. Maria Gallus of Maximal Mortgages offers access to a bunch of different lenders and a wide range of rate options, far more than what your bank can provide. So contact Maria today at mortgagesbymaria.ca for all of your mortgage needs. Hey, Steve.
Hey, guys. Hi, Brownie.
Scuba.
Hi.
Thanks for putting me in your lap once again. Okay.
Yeah, here you are down there.
Some talk on the stream tonight about Connor Brown. So Pod Goals chimes in and says, Brown is looking, dare I say, more snake-bitten than last year. Matt Blom, our resident Canucks fan, comes in and says, Oilers fan with third-party perspective, I just don't get Connor Brown. What do you guys think about Connor Brown's play?
I thought he played well tonight. Apparently the people in New Jersey did too. They gave him 3rd star in the game, which I thought was a little surprising. I know that on the telecast, Jack was absolutely flabbergasted that he didn't score that, but the one where it went off his feet, I mean, that one was just, it's either lucky it hits you and goes in or unlucky and it misses. There was last game, though, or the game before, we had a wide open net. Yeah, he is snake bitten. I 100%. He had a breakaway tonight. He's creating chances, but I think Connor Brown is what Connor Brown is. He works hard, skates fast, gets chances, struggles to finish.
Yeah, I can't say anything better. I think he's a 3rd, 4th liner, right? Just with his finish that he has. But I want him on the ice and I want him playing.
Yep.
All right. Decent amount of conversation about, sorry, I got to make this a bit bigger so you guys can read it, about Nuge tonight. So Dog 2233 comes in and says Nuge needs to sit in the press box next game. He doesn't do anything, makes inexcusable plays, and doesn't contribute positively in any way. So pretty harsh on Nuge there. Gabriella C came in and said Nuge was okay on the PK, though. Thoughts on Nuge's play in general, Struds?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him get more offense, obviously, that goes. But I do think, and I said it earlier, when he's playing center, he's skating more. And I think they got to kind of get him skating and getting in there more and touching more areas of the ice, 5-on-5.
Yeah, I agree with Struds. I'm not putting him in the press box, but I do believe having him move from playing with Connor McDavid to 3rd line center is a demotion. That is a message being sent. And again, that play that he made, you cannot make that play with a 1-goal lead in the 3rd period. That's not a good play. He's better than that. But no, I don't sit him out. But the demotion to the 3rd line certainly was warranted.
Lots of love on the stream, obviously, for Draisaitl tonight. Aaron St. Pierre says, it has to be said Draisaitl's been a beast all year, but this game was one of the most impressive games by a forward in the NHL this year. Quaddy asks, since we've been losing a lot, it seems like Leon has dropped in the Hart conversation. Meanwhile, has 17 straight. 49 goals, 100 points. Why is that? Any thoughts, Brownie?
Well, in all honesty, maybe because McKinnon's Canadian, and it's a nice story. The Canadian wins the Hart back-to-back years. To me, Leon's the MVP. I think there's separation this year. I think Leon and McKinnon are the two best players this year. I think there is separation from Kucherov, from McDavid, from Rantanen. I think those two are having exceptional years. I believe, though, goal scoring is harder than getting assists. And even if McKinnon wins the scoring title by 5 or 6 points, the fact that Leon is going to win the goal scoring title by double-digit goals, to me, Leon is the best player in the world right now, and he deserves the Hart.
Yeah, hard to argue with that. I think you're right. That's the way you frame it. It's just those two guys, I think. This going to go down the wire. I mean, I guess Hellebuck maybe, but the goalies don't usually get a lot of love in that whole award. But I just think that part of the reason maybe when you start slowing down, people start looking for warts on your team and then in your game. When the team's not winning, then you start winning again, all of a sudden everyone's the greatest. So I think that's part of the reason why. And I do think the team's going to dig a way out of this.
Okay, Paulie coming in and says, if McDavid's sick again, there's some rumors that McDavid's sick, I would lean on his body is exhausted, never should have played at the 11 a.m. on the Saturday after the Four Nations. In the benefit of hindsight, what do you guys think about that? Struddy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's sick or not. I can't speak to that, but I do think I've seen it before. When Lundqvist came home after winning the Olympics, he was bagged, and I mean they partied hard after winning the gold medal. I get it, but he was a bag of turds for good reason. I mean, it's really hard. Now this was a shorter term; he didn't have to travel as far, but I do think that a break would have been nice. But other players didn't break, and they got right back in there. But keep in mind, the Oilers were on the road before. He was on the road during that. They're on the road after. That's a long time to be away. Just imagine you're away from home for 3 weeks or so. It's a long time just living out of hotels, eating hotel food. Like I remember by the end I get on a road trip, end of like 7-8 days. I don't want to eat out. I just want to come home and eat at home. And it does get old. So he's eating 3 meals a day out for 3 weeks. That's a lot, guys.
Yeah, I don't think he's sick, and I think he's looked better as of late with energy. I think I have not seen him lose control of the puck or make passes that don't work as much as I've seen him as of late. But as far as energy right now, I think he looked fine the last few games. And they should have, though, after the Four Nations, there should have been an extra day, if not 2, built into the schedule so that all players coming back from that would have had more days off, because it was too much to ask for every player to come back and play that quickly.
The other thing I'll add on this is that Connor McDavid is not having the year that I'm sure he would like. And when that happens to McDavid, he leans into it even harder. So, like, he's killing himself trying to work his way through this. You guys remember when he was suspended? And I remember thinking the only benefit from this is going to be a break. He murdered himself for 4 days on the ice. Yeah. And I remember I asked him, and he kind of got a little grumpy at me. I was like, you're not exactly taking it easy. He's like, well, what am I going to do? I can't go to Cabo. And I said to him, are you sure? Have you asked? Like, they might let you, man. Go have your break now. Bottom line, when it's not going the way McDavid wants, he leans into it. And I think, good luck telling that guy to take a few days off and try and chill out. So I think the fact that he hasn't played as well as he would have liked has probably made the fatigue thing even worse, because he's fighting through it.
Question from Mike. He says, I have a question for both Jason and Rob. Ty Emberson changed his agent during the season this year. Have you ever done this? And do you think it will negatively impact contract negotiations? What do you think, Brownie?
I have done it. I didn't do it. I don't know if it was during the season or at the end of the season. I have changed, and no, I don't think it matters. I don't think that all the agents are known to all the GMs. The Edmonton Oilers, Stan Bowman knows what he wants to pay Emberson, and it doesn't matter what agent he has. He's going to say, "Here's what you're getting." Unless your name is Leon or Connor, you don't get to sign the check with the number you want. You're going to sign the check with the number we give you. The only thing that's going to negatively affect Emberson's next contract is he hasn't played as well. I think right now, if everyone's healthy, Klingberg might be in his spot. I think Emberson has struggled a little bit as of late. So, but I don't think changing age at Struds makes any different at all to the general manager.
Yeah, I tried to change agents. I called 3 and they never called me back. So I stayed with the same guy. So Donnie Min was my guy for the whole time. And I do think that he's maybe coming back a little bit to maybe where he was, but he played a lot of good hockey. And I think it'll be him in there instead of Klingberg because he does kill penalties. And I don't know if Klingberg moves as well like that. I'm worried about his movement. I just, without the puck. So I don't know. It's a nice option to have, and they may platoon a bit, but I don't think changing ages makes a difference because you have a new plan, and the way it works is you sit down with your agent and say, okay, these are the comparables. This is the number I'm going in with. Do you want longer term, short term? What are your goals? Do you like it here? All that stuff. Then the agent goes and talks to the GM and figures out if they feel similar with you. Then bang, you try to find a number that works, and it's done. So whether it's whoever, it doesn't really matter. It's about getting it done.
Klingberg's got to get playing here, guys. Like he's got to get games. This guy, he's not, that break hurt him. He came back. It literally hurt him trying to play the back-to-back games. He has not found his game. So I hear what you're saying, Brownie. Emberson's game is dipped, but Klingberg has not looked good. Thus,
you have to get him into games sooner to know what he's capable of doing. Do you know what's wrong with him right now?
No, not 100% certain. I don't know if I'm trying to recall. I believe Knobloch said it wasn't related to his other stuff from before. But don't quote me on that. As soon as they get back, we'll dig in and find out where he and Ekholm are at. But I don't know right this moment. So is that it, Steve-O? Or should we wrap up the poll?
Yeah, sure. A couple comments on the poll before we do. Uncle Jim says it'll be Stu and net for the playoffs. We got to get him going and building confidence down the stretch here. His last game was a solid effort despite the L. And Gomez with an idea. He says Stu in and Pickard on Leon's wing.
Yeah.
Made me chuckle.
That might be a tweet tonight.
Complete a pass. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, let's close the poll. And Brownie, no offense, I just don't have a shot with you set up. So,
well,
yeah. Well,
bye.
He's still there.
No.
Stick around, buddy.
We'll say bye. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead, Steve.
I'd put you in my lap if I had the ability, but okay. So the question, the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center poll once again. The question was, who do you start in net on Sunday? Pickard was the winner, but only with 60% of the votes. Stu Skinner with 40.
All right, there you go. We will see which way Chris Knobloch decides to go. Brownie, you were on it tonight, buddy. All over it. Appreciate you sticking around for Ask Us Anything, and we'll chat in a couple of days, my friend.
Sound good. Night, everyone.
All right, that is Robbie Brown, curator of Brownie Points, and some great analysis here on the show. Before we go to a break, Struds, why don't we grab our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new Canadian Club Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at an incredible 58%, their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date, full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish. And maybe before we get to any scores, Struds, I did not mention tonight that the Oilers, with the win, pull themselves back into second spot for now in the Pacific. They'd been there for quite a while. Then LA put a nice little run together. The Oilers, the bottom fell out for the Oil, so they spent a little bit of time that couldn't have felt great in third, but they bounced back up in the standings tonight, pal.
Yeah, so six games, 3 completed so far. The Hurricanes beat the Red Wings 4-2. I watched some of that one, and the Hurricanes were all over the Wings. And then the Jets, 2 goals off Kyle Connor, and Dylan Sandberg from the point, make it 4-1 over the Stars. That's a big one. Still in action, almost out now. The Avs are winning 4-2 over the Flames, so it looks like the Flames won't get these 2 points. And then Preds Ducks, no one really cares. And then Utah Kraken 2-1. And Utah really needs these 2 points tonight.
All right. That's our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. Quick break. When we come back, core Blue Liners, and we will take a lap around the league. Stay with us. Lots more.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
Let's talk a little blue liner, shall we? Time for Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, they have your back when it comes to health and safety compliance, creating and managing tailored health and safety programs that meet all core requirements. Visit www.hsecor.com. Alexander Romanoff, Struds, impressed you tonight?
Boy, he was good. He was really good. The problem is he plays in Long Island, and they don't get a ton of press, especially out west here. But so he's decent size. He moves pretty well. But when I now think of him, when I saw him play today, and then my notes were great gap control, and he's always in the way. Man, he was. How many times you see him? He turned and he broke up a play with a stick, or his body's in the right place. He's physical. He's a really, really good D-man. So he doesn't play in the power play. He's a penalty killer. And 5-on-5, he was really, really good tonight. His gap control, I thought, was some of the best I've seen all year. So really impressed me with his play. They've got some good youngish D-men there.
25 years of age, 6'1", 209 pounds. To your point, though, he's sturdy. Like, there were a few times where guys ran into him tonight, and it was like thunk. Almost like you were hitting 230 pounds and not 210.
Yeah, but for sure. And he's strong on it. I think, the word I use is strong on his skates, and good balance in that area. But he gets his stick. Like he puts his body in the right place, and his stick is just always in the way. It'd be so annoying to play against him. And he was playing against everybody. He was playing against the big guys all night long. So really, really impressive game tonight. But, if you're trying to teach your kids how to be good gap control, this guy, was really solid tonight.
$2.5 million on the cap in the final year of that deal. He is a restricted free agent coming out of this year. Do you have an overarching thought on the Islanders, bud? Like what is this?
I think they're in a real bad spot. I think that Lamoriello is very loyal to his guys. I think that he's trying to build a team that is similar to what he had with the Devils. The problem is, Marty Brodeur is good, and Sorokin is very good as well. But they don't have Scott Stevens. They don't have Scott Niedermayer. They don't have some of these other guys they had that were so big and just such way to play. They need to. I think they need get more kind of game breakers, right? Go for it. Now they're missing Barzal, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think that this team is a long, long way from they're not good and they're not bad. So that puts you in a really bad spot, right? They can maybe compete for a playoff spot. I don't think they can win playoff rounds. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I think there's some stubborn management. I think it's getting to the point now with this management that they're stubborn, set in some old ways. And, I think that there's, we have some people asking on the stream what you think of the whole beard thing, that they had in place forever and that whole thing just stuck in. I don't know if it makes a difference towards winning or losing, but my point is there's a stubbornness. And I think you see it in the way they manage and probably in the way it's coached too.
Yeah. And they're relatively old, right? They look at Anders Lee, 34, Palmieri, 34, Pajot, 32, Duclair's coming up on 30. I don't even want to talk about Engvall, but Barzal's not a spring chicken anymore. He's 27. Bo Horvat, 29. Then on the back end, Pellick, Dobson. Well, Dobson's 25, but it's not like you can say, yeah, they're going to get better. Like, is there youth coming? And I don't know their farm system too well, but I don't know. If I'm an Oilers fan, I feel like I'm stuck in purgatory right now with this group.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I just think, I don't know if mismanagement's the word I'd use to describe it, but they need to change. And I think they started with Nelson, because they got a really good young player from Colorado. I can't think of his name right now. And then they got a first rounder.
I'll find it.
So they've got a really good, I think he's from London. I think he plays for London, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But, they got
Callum
a couple
Ritchie.
first.
Yeah, Callum Ritchie. Sorry, that
Callum
took me a
Ritchie,
minute there.
But I don't know. They got a long ways to go, man. They got to get younger and more energetic to play.
Yeah. All right. That was Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. All right. Let's see what else is going on around the National Hockey League right now. That's brought to you by Acon. So if you're looking for work, they got an answer for you. They're looking for skilled tradespeople and construction professionals. Trades@acon.com is the website. So if you have a resume, that's the email address. Fire your resumes off to trades@acon.com and join the Acon team. Start building what matters today, one of Canada's original industrial contractors. Struds, what caught your eye today?
Well, contract, Adin Hill gets it done, right? The hero of the Stanley Cup run for the Vegas Golden Knights signs a 6-year, $37.5 million deal. 28 years old, going to be 29 in May, I believe. So, that'll take him to, let's call it 35 to make the math simple. And he'll be the goalie now. And so the Oilers now knew who they'll be competing against for the next more than half decade.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I mean, he pushed through, got the deal. They get it done. I'm just taking a look where he's at this season. So he's at .906 this season, 2.53 goals against average. Obviously, we saw that he'd made Team Canada as well. I don't know. What do you think? Like, people are going to look at these contracts and, they're going to wonder where a guy like Skinner would come in, along these lines, if and, when he's ready to go too. But obviously Hill has accomplished some more along these lines. What do you think of the dollar figure?
Well, I'm trying to. So right away, my mind went to Stu Skinner, and what is this for? He's a couple of years younger, and you got to look at some of the comparables like Swayman, Allmark, and some of those numbers are bigger than Adin Hill. So I think this is more in the group that Skinner's at, and maybe a little bit lighter than that, because what is it, 6.5? I think it works out to, if I did
Skinner
the math.
would be, yeah.
But anyway, I mean, like, I think this is kind of what you're looking at, and it might be the upper limit. Is Adin Hill? I'm not sure you can come in and ask for more if you're Stu Skinner. Now, if they win the cup this year, maybe it changes that. But I think this would be the upper limit, and kind of you have some fluctuation or some flexibility in and around there.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. We'll see. I mean, Skinner's playoff, man, it's just going to be so important to the next chapter of his story,
And term, sorry to interrupt, but the term makes a difference too, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So,
all right, what else?
They go back to the Islanders, and I saw a report saying, honestly, I couldn't believe it. Kyle Palmieri they're trying to extend them, and 34 years old. I think he has 20 goals, 21 assists or something, 40 points, but he's 34 years old. Trade him. Just trade him. Get younger. And I like Kyle Palmieri. I've always thought he's a really good player. This isn't the player. It's where the franchise is at. So let's assume they can sign him for 2 more years. Like, it's just hanging around. You're not moving forward at all. And I do not understand that. It's like Lou cannot let it go. So I would have traded Palmieri for sure. I would have tried Nelson, and I get now they have to sign him because they didn't trade him. But Schauger, I do not understand it. I do not understand what they're trying to do, because this is not long-term solution at all.
Don't
and
you
you're trading
have
with 2 years
good
and probably
veteran
get
players,
less.
though? You have to have some good veteran players.
They've got a lot.
That set a nice culture and do that.
They got him.
Like 30 goals
Bo
last year,
Horvat.
20 this year.
Yeah, Bo Horvat, Anders Lee, Pajot, Duclair, their buddy Ingval, like they've got that. Like, they need some younger players to come in and help out, and start, like, what's the next generation coming through? And it's not like this group has killed it. What is the high water mark for this team? Wasn't it the or the Eastern Conference playoffs? Didn't they make it? Maybe one time.
Didn't they? What did they do during COVID? Didn't they have
Yeah.
I feel like they did something a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to be disrespectful to this franchise or to this group, but it's not like you're breaking up like the Penguins here, with Sid and Malkin and Letang and all these guys, right? Like, I think it was an opportunity to move on from Palmieri, because now I'm just guessing it's a 2-year contract. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Let's say it's a 2-year deal. Well, guess what? In 2 years, you're trading him away for less than you would have got a week ago. You should have traded him a week ago and then got some assets back and then trying to kind of get going for the next generation. Yeah, I couldn't, I knew they were going to sign him, but I don't understand why they didn't trade him. It makes no sense.
All right, good point by you, buddy. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. All right, man. We had a loaded show tonight, but it was a gooder. And let's cap it really off with our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. Take the first step towards a stress-free dental experience, providing modern dentistry for today's patient with the most up-to-date dentistry, sedation, implants, and so much more. Contact Gallery Dental, YEG.com. All right, Struddy, what do you got tonight, buddy? I have a gut feeling that I know what you're going to go with. What do you got?
Yeah, Pickard's pass. I mean, not a primary assist, so you can't get too excited about it. But it was a really nice play as a secondary pass, which we know isn't as good. And Connor really did the incredible play. But it was incredible. Pickard, great play, great awareness, and hockey IQ is a word that his buddy Draisaitl used.
A much-needed win for the Oilers. Salvage some points on this road trip. Try and get this thing pointed in the right direction as they come back home. They've got the New York Rangers set to go on Sunday, sitting in second place in the Pacific. Something to feel good about. Let's see if they can build off of this. Struds, when's the last time the Oilers just came out and took command of a game? Had like a 3-goal, like it was just like it was just they were on it.
They been need a while. That. And not to change the subject, but wasn't it when they came to New York, they kind of found their groove? Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? They found their groove.
Didn't they come back? Yeah.
Was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't even remember. So a lot of these guys don't remember this building. And I'm wondering if they can't build off this today and then that Sunday and come home and kind of get that energy going. Because what do we got? 16 games left, I think. 16.
Oh, yeah. Make me count them up. You want me to count them? 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 16. But, 34, 50, but you're right. It's been a while. It's been a while.
For sure. All right, Struddy. Thanks, pal. We'll chat in a couple of days. Thanks, Steve-O, and thanks to all of you for joining us on the live stream tonight.
Awesome.
Or if you've downloaded us in pod form, we really appreciate it. Having a blast. Kind of through the grindy days of the season, right? Everybody knows the really important stuff is yet to come, but what is happening right now matters. This team has got to get itself sorted out, and tonight may be a step in that direction. We'll chat in a couple of days. Stay safe. Look forward to talking again soon. See ya.